G'day guys, hope you're all doing pretty good. This is Countless One here, and a buddy of mine, a guy from our gaming group, is going to be starting his own club. So one of the things needed is terrain, and one of the easiest pieces of terrain I've always found to make, and probably one of the cheaper ones, is hills. Now, these aren't going to be using any sort of grass or anything like that. They're just going to be rocky, basically flat plateaued rocks, just for wargaming. So if you have access to some nice thick, about 2-inch styrofoam, has to be the high density styrofoam, otherwise it won't work. This is extruded styrofoam. It's very, very thick and solid. If you've got the stuff with the bubbles, this method is not going to work at all. You'll just destroy the thing and it's going to look like poo. So anyway, cut out a couple of basic hill type shapes. Make sure they're, a good size for your little dudes to hide behind or around. You can place apart. They're going to be able to get through there, no worries. I've cut out a whole bunch. I'm going to be doing a few, but just going to show you the basics on, say, just on one for now. Obviously you'll need your cutter, you'll need your foam, and for the actual making construction part, you'll only need 2 other things. Steel rule. This method I learned from Viv, rubbish in, rubbish out, and it's genius. It couldn't be easier. It's messy as fuck, so just be careful. I'm going to be doing a little bit of it in here, but for the rest of them I'm going to go outside and do the whole lot. But hold your hill on the side, get the side of the ruler pretty much dead on. You could probably do it at an angle, doesn't really matter. But all you're doing is back and forth. Just really chipping away at that. You can see shit going everywhere, so this is much better to do outside. What that's going to do is give you a nice sort of a rocky look. Say if you're doing it with the hot wire cutter, because the only one I've ever had is the Games Workshop one, and that's a piece of fucking shit. So go around. This will, I mean, you cut it to the basic shape you want, but I mean, if you're not happy with the shape of the hill you've got, you just carve into it a bit more with the knife, and you're gold. You can actually like dig into it more and get more of a shape out of it. So that's that part anyway. Okay, I'm going to go do the rest of these outside and then I'll come back. Okay, so you got all your pieces that you've done your side texture to with your ruler there. So next step, so you want to add just some layers. Now these, when I say layers, sorry, this is as high as it's going to be. I'm not going to be putting like pieces on top of pieces or anything like that, because I'm going to be using these for dystopian wars. So these are just going to be like islands really. And while, I mean, you could put layers on that scale, it just looks a bit, doesn't really work. So what I do now this I actually first saw this sort of thing, I think it was on a mini wargaming video. I'm going to take the blade about halfway through. You're cutting pretty much into the side of it. You're just going to make a cut, not directly on the side. Try and come in at an angle just to make it a little bit more sort of natural. So probably should really be cutting away from yourself. But I'm not doing that because I'm fucking stupid. So cut into it. Any amount will do. And just break it off. Bang. Now what you can do is get your ruler And just go back over that, just so that you make a nice edge in that area there, the same as you've got all the way around. Just a little bit. Get rid of that. So you can do a few more around the other side, but that's up to you. For this one I won't. Now the only other thing you're going to need is a scrunched up ball of aluminium foil. Now I learnt this off Milos from Dream Spirit War. Now I thought this was fucking genius when I saw it. It's so easy, so simple. I mean the rule is really easy and simple, as is this. Just roll it into a rough sort of ball. Probably not a bad idea to have some little knobbly bits because they'll create deeper imprints. Stick it on top, press down pretty hard, and just roll it over. Until you've gone over the whole surface. Don't know if you're really going to be able to see that. That's probably made it worse. But that's now given a nice, beautiful, rough surface that's going to respond well to dry brushing. I don't normally do a lot of dry brushing, but when it comes to terrain, I think it works pretty good. I don't mind the old dry brush. You find that it's pretty hard if you've got a round ball to get into the very cracks there. Just make a push, just shape a little cornery bit, and there you go. After that, just paint it up. Really couldn't be simpler. So I'll stick some black paint on and see how we go. Okay, so once you've got your bits that you've painted up, I just chuck on a black base coat of just some of the cheapest, crappiest craft paint I could find. It's about $5 for a quarter of a litre. And I'm going to, not really, somewhere between just straight out paint and dry brush, a really cheap grey, once again, just craft paint. These are about $2.50 for a whole tube of this shit. It's I get it from Bunnings or like a hardware store. They'll have a little craft section. Great stuff. So I mean, because I water down this stuff about 30-70, maybe 60-40, 40-60 water to paint. I have it because it comes out really super thick. So what will happen is when it dries, it'll be fairly patchy. It won't look completely black. That really doesn't matter because, I mean, it's terrain and it's going to look rocky. So you don't really want it to look all super like even and you're just not going to notice the patches underneath once it's done. So what I've done there, more or less just going to do that all over the whole thing. Just really, just mash a bit of paint into the brush. You're not looking to do top quality work here. I mean, it's terrain. I mean, you want your terrain to look good for sure, but at the end of the day, you're making a rock. So near enough's good enough. And yeah, I'll pretty much just do the whole lot like this and come back for the final 1 or 2 steps. So you've got your hill painted up now. Well, the first sort of dry / wet overbrush, leaving a little bit of that black under there. You really can't see any of the patchiness of that undercoat. So now I've mixed the same initial grey with a little bit of white. Get most of it off. Even this isn't really technically a dry brush as such. It's still pretty damp, but I mean, just go over it really lightly. Fuck. Get too much on there still. Get a lot of it off. Just bring out that texture that you got with the roll of aluminium foil. Give it a really quick couldn't be simpler. Now if you want, you could go over that. You could go over this again with just pure white, only going on, say, the very edges around the corners there, just to really bring it out. But as I'm doing this for a smaller scale, I'm not overly bothered about it looking super detailed. And I'll probably just reckon that'll more or less do the trick. There you go. Really is super simple. Bang. You got your little hill now for your little mans. All's right with the world. Cheers, guys.